Hi, this is Ann Elliott from homeschoolingtorah.com, and I would like to do a series of videos where I go through each of the 10 commandments. I feel like the 10 commandments are the heart of what behavior and character things we need to teach to our children. So here's number 1. I'm going to start in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 3. And Elohim spoke all these words, saying, I am Yehovah your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods, no other Elohim or mighty ones before me. How can we teach this incredibly important character issue to our children? I have 5 things for you. First of all, I think if Elohim, our Elohim, is the only Elohim and he is above all other gods, then I need to start when my children are very young and sing and praise and bless him. Let me read to you from Psalm 135, verses 3 through 5. Let me just start with verse 3. It says, praise Yehovah, for Yehovah is good. Sing praises to his name, for it is pleasant. Now let me go down to verse 5. For I know that Yehovah is great, and our Adonai is above all gods. So why are we singing to him and praising him and blessing his name? And why is it so pleasant? Because he is the only Elohim. I can start when my children are tiny. In fact, I think you could start when your children haven't even been born yet. The whole time you're pregnant, sing praises to Elohim. Sing, sing, sing. That singing is not only pleasant and makes your home just filled with shalom, but it teaches your children that there is no other God to whom we should give our praise. I think that's one of the most fundamental things you can do for your tiny children. And if you've never done that, today is the best day to start. If you can't sing, then turn on praise music. YouTube is full of it. And just fill your home with such a pleasant sound that lets your children know there is no other Elohim but him, and he is the only one who deserves our praise and our blessing. Number 2, this is super practical. We're going to go to Deuteronomy 8, verses 10 through 19. It's a little bit of a long section, but we're going to talk about how we need to thank him. And we can start by thanking him for the food and the things that he has given us every day. So let me start in Deuteronomy 8, verse 10. It says, when you have eaten and are satisfied, then you shall bless Yehovah your Elohim for the good land which he has given you. Beware that you do not forget Yehovah your Elohim by not keeping his commandments, his judgments, and his statutes, which I command you today, lest when you have eaten and are satisfied and have built beautiful houses and dwell in them, and when your herds and your flocks multiply, and your silver and your gold are multiplied, and all that you have is multiplied, when your heart is lifted up and you forget Yehovah your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Egypt. Let me go down. It's that then you will say, this is verse 17, you will say in your heart, my power and the might of my hand have gained me this wealth. And you shall remember Yehovah your Elohim, for it is he alone who gives you power to get wealth, food, all of the things you're eating at your table, that he will establish his covenant with which he swore to your fathers as it is this day. And it shall be, if you by any means forget Yehovah your Elohim and follow other gods and serve and worship them, then he will destroy you. So it is such a practical thing. You've got your little 4 or 5 month old getting his first little bites of food. You know, a little tooth is butting through the gums and he's like, what looks like mommy has on her plate. And it's so tempting to just go ahead and start feeding. You can say, no, let's fold our hands before we eat. Let's thank the one who gave it all to us. When we tuck our children into bed at night and we love our little stuffed animals and our cozy blankets, we can say, you know what? Thank him for this wonderful bedroom that he has given you. Thank him for all your toys. Thank him for all the clothes. Thank him for this amazing house. Thank him for the breath that's in our lungs, that we were alive all day. Constantly thanking him. But I think the most practical place to start is at mealtime and maybe before bed. Those are just simple ways that we can begin to instill this in our children. Number 3, pray to him for everything that we have need of. Let me go to 2 Chronicles chapter 28. 2 Chronicles 28 And this is a story of King Ahaz. He was a king of Israel, and he did not walk in the ways of Yehovah. He forgot Yehovah. He led the nation of Israel to sin. But this is so interesting. Because of his sin, Yah brought up the enemies of Israel. And I'm going to start in verse 22. Those enemies of Israel were coming up against King Ahaz and all the people of Judah and were attacking. And it says in verse 22, in the time of his distress, King Ahaz became increasingly unfaithful to Yehovah. He sacrificed to the gods of Damascus, who had defeated him, saying, because the gods of the king of Syria help them, I will sacrifice to them that they may help me. And I think it's so tempting. When we are in a time of prosperity and everything is going well in our lives, it's easy to think, and it's easy to pray, dear Father, please pray for this person, please pray for that person. But it's in the time of our distress that we need to teach our children to turn to Yah alone and to pray to him alone and not to anything else. We're going to talk about this in a future video as well, but this is not the time that we turn to tarot cards or to our horoscope, or that we turn to the doctors, as it talks about in other passages, kings of Israel who were distressed. I think it was King Asa. He was distressed in his feet, so he turned to all the doctors instead of turning to Yah. We can start when our children are very young, when they are in distress, and you know what that looks like. You can teach them, okay, I can help you, but before I do, we need to turn to the source of our true help. Let's pray. Let's ask God to help us. Number 4, this is super important. We're going to turn to Deuteronomy chapter 7. And this one is to be sure you surround your children with good friends, good companions. It says in Deuteronomy 7, verse 2, you shall make no covenant with the nations around that serve idols, no covenant with them, nor show mercy to them, nor shall you make marriages with them. You shall not give your daughter to their son, nor take their daughter for your son, for they will turn your sons away from following me to serve other gods. If we're to have no other God but him, then it is vital that we protect the friendships that our children have. And these friendships, when they're very young, could include just even extended family. That yes, we have to show love to them, spend time with them, but don't make a covenant with them or spend too much time with them. Don't be spending all your play dates with people that are going to be encouraging your children in ungodliness. And you know what? It's also friends that come in through our media, our social media, our devices, our videos that we watch, our television. Make sure that the covenants that you make as friendships for your children are righteous and godly ones. It'd be better for them to have no friends at all, which isn't actually going to be true because you're going to be their friend. But it'd be better to have no outside friends at all than to make covenants with the nations around. Number 5, this one's going to end on a happy note. Psalm 145, verse 4. Teach them about the one true God. Psalm 145, verse 4. One generation shall praise your works to another and shall declare your mighty acts. And I'm going to go down to verse 10. All your works shall praise you, O Yah, and all your saints shall bless you. They shall speak of the glory of your kingdom and talk of your power, to make known to the sons of men his mighty acts and the glorious majesty of his kingdom. You know what? I think the most practical way to start doing this is just to take a walk with your child and show him everything that God has created. Show him the moon and the stars. Show him the flowers and the trees and the animals, and say, who created that? Who created that moon? Who created those stars? Who created that beautiful leaf? Yehovah created them. Constantly talk of all his mighty works, and that also includes of all the mighty works he has done for his people, which is one of the most important reasons we celebrate the biblical feast in Leviticus 23, because at Passover time we want to remember how he delivered his people from Egypt and slavery. And all throughout all of the feasts, in the summer at Shavuot, and in the fall at Sukkot, and at every feast, we point them to the one who did mighty works for them, so that they will know his mighty works. And we read it. We find out the history of what he has done for his people all throughout time. Here at Homeschooling Torah, that is one of the most important things we can help you with, is to show you how to have that Bible reading time with your children, starting even in the preschool years and going all the way through until they're 18 and they leave home. that you want to be teaching them in science, in history, in Bible, in every possible way, having those discussions with your children. Teach them that He alone is Elohim and there is no other Elohim but Him. I hope these 5 tips have helped you. It's really, really practical. It has to do with the things we do as we get up in the morning and all the way till we go to bed at night, centering everything we do around the one Elohim that we are to worship. I know you can do this. Just open your eyes to all the possible ways that you can do this with your kids. Shalom.